back to Bread Theory. Oh, I knew I did. I forgot one thing. That was change the microphone. Hello and welcome back to Bread Theory. I'm your host, as always, Zach. Tonight we're continuing on after like 3 weeks of being just too busy to do anything. Continuing on with our SJWitcher series, trying to find justice in an inherently unjust world. Um, yeah, it's been a busy last few weeks. This is the end of the grad school semester. Um, I have about just under a month, probably 3-ish weeks to go, maybe 4, and then that'll be finally it for the semester. Thankfully, and there'll be a little bit of a lull. Although part of that I won't be able to stream because I will be in Mexico for my brother's wedding, one of the weekends there. Then I start my internship for the summer. Really excited about it. Working for a food bank, um, learning the social work aspects of that. Should be really fun. And after all this time, this is now the close of my second year of grad school. After all this time, I'm really eager to get into the field, do some hands-on learning. So there'll be that. And then after summer, I go straight into a fall internship, hopefully with a school. I plan to be a school social work. I really love education, especially special education. So that's my plan with that. Um, but overall, it should be less study intensive because the learning is mainly hands on. So I should finally, after I get these oh geez, I have 4 papers left to do between 2 classes. Um, Once I get those done, I guess 2 of them are technically not papers; they're oral presentations. But still, once I get those 4 done, um, I'm basically free and clear for the semester. I can get back again with Dan doing our weekly show and just be more regularly streaming in general. So looking forward to that. This has been both one of the best semesters and one of the most maddening ones. Uh, this one class that I'm taking is just filler. It is the most basic stuff. That's like it'll ask questions like, "Well, what do you do to run a good group? Do you dominate the conversation? Do you make sure that every group member does exactly what you say? Do you allow infighting? Or do you facilitate discussion and set boundaries?" It's literally questions that are that obvious. I've learned absolutely nothing. It has all been review just from understanding life and how groups work. I don't know. It's just the most obvious class I've ever had. On the other hand, I had um, my assessment and diagnosis class that is still ongoing, and that has been one of the best. That's probably my favorite class I've ever taken in grad school. I really love diagnosis and just assessment in general. But I just find it really fascinating picking apart the puzzle that people are presenting you, finding solutions that work for them, giving them an answer. I know for me, um, even though I haven't formally been diagnosed with ADHD, uh, I'm pretty sure I have it. I'm currently in therapy for treating it. So, though I cannot get a formal diagnosis through my particular therapist, he's pretty sure too, I would say. There's only so much he's legally allowed to say because for whatever reason, not just anyone can diagnose ADHD as well as autism. Alright, looks like I'm back. Gosh, that's annoying. Why is it no longer showing me? Oh, here it is. Never mind. I was looking at the wrong screen, that's why. Yeah, I should have internet access, no problem. Back again. Looks like it. What is even happening? Yep. Yeah, I was gone for a few minutes. Oh, hey there. How's it going, Techno Deutsch? Play one of your songs. I appreciate the offer, but we'll be focused on gaming tonight. Alright, hopefully there's no more interruptions. I really, literally have no idea why that's happening. There should be nothing interrupting my connection. It is a wired connection. It's not even on the Wi-Fi. But anyway. So yeah, that's where I've been at with grad school lately. Looking forward to things, looking forward to winding down this semester. At the same time, sad that assessment and diagnosis will be over. And here I gotta get that off the screen. Of course, it's just gonna... Boy, technical difficulties aplenty tonight. We'll try resharing that. Hopefully, it will do a little better this time. Okay. Hide. I think I just pressed the wrong button, so my bad. We shall resume. Alright, anyway. Loved assessment and diagnosis. Didn't care for the other class, but it's almost done. They just have so much filler work. It's honestly obnoxious. Alright, so we're going to go talk to a quarryman for some quest. It's been so long, I can't really hardly remember what quest I need.
A job is like a lady. You can always get a new one.
We are just going to find basically the fastest route between 2 points.
Drink! Give me a drink!
No, I'm not talking to him.
Want to waltz about out there? Go on, enjoy.
Alright then.
What the golly blasting devils are you doing, men? What plague? An unfortunate turn of offense, that's all. Get back to chiseling. If we don't deliver that head on time, the infestor will twist my plums off.
Is that what you'll tell Emil's widow? That a cow crushed him and it was an accident? This, sir, is a grave matter. It requires a specialist, some mage or warlock.
Or Witcher.
What happened here?
Look! It's that Witcher who's come to town. Maybe he can do something. An exorcism or the like. We should ask how much coin he'll want.
Saw your notice. Got a problem with a cow? Fear a plague, is that it?
Yes, indeed, and a horrid one at that. We've asked the gods something true, we have. In Zeracania, they've sent a plague of locusts, then of frogs. With us, they skipped right to raining cows down on us.
Yes, Will, I
Enough!
remember you.
Enough! No need to so panic.
Don't worry.
Come, Master Witcher, I should have
Glad to
told
hear you
the
doing
matter
music,
at
man.
hand.
Seems like a good outlet for you.
Yes, an unfortunate matter indeed, to be crushed by a cow. A true shame, Emil. He was a good worker. I told them at once there had to be a simple explanation. But that lot, no. Right away they started in screaming, plague! Demanding higher wages for hardship, poor working conditions, you see? They'll ruin me, the blotters.
My job is to figure out why a cow fell from the sky. That it?
That too. The thing is, since none bothered to clear the cow corpse, some filths overrun the other pit. We fear to venture there.
Not surprised.
Probably
Cow.
necrophages.
Where'd it come from? What kind was it?
Why, the ordinary spotted kind. Nothing unusual. Its corpse rots in the other pit, sends out its stench, and Emil lies right beneath it. Will you tend to the matter, take on the contract?
What exactly is going on here?
Construction of a statue of the prophet Lepiota. We're
Man,
carving.
these people are
Not
obsessed.
all at once, that is, but piece by piece. A pious Infestus revived the project after years of neglect. He's engaged all nearby quarries in its completion. And we would be on schedule were it not for the incident. Please, Master, will you look into it?
Need to know more about this accident. Anyone actually see what happened?
No, but sounds there were. Osterv had just gone to see how Emil was getting along when suddenly we heard an ear-botching boom. Moments later, something smashed into one of the cranes.
Doubt it was the cow that hit the crane.
Probably true. At any rate, come morn, we ventured out to sea, but the vermin drove us off. With that, all work came to a halt, has remained so since. Master, tarry no longer, please. Will you take on the matter?
Yeah, that's fine. I'm not gonna haggle over the
Fine,
reward.
I'll look into it. Might be a botched portal, but I doubt it.
Lepiota reward you with progeny aplenty. I
Sounds like
shall
someone's
keep an
trying to
eye out
sabotage
for
it.
you.
I wonder if it is this guy. Although they were asking for wages after it happened, so maybe not him. But still, that's gonna be my guess. Sabotage. Pretty sure last time I was at this core there was no one here, so interesting development.
My hand shakes so bad, I cannot hold my tools.
Wait, I thought I was going to... Yeah, I gotta go over there. Why was it trying to tell me? Witcher GPS, not always the most accurate. Let's go find this cow corpse. Oh, there it be. Wonder what manner of foul creature we're gonna find in here. I guess first things first, examine the corpse. Yup,
Must be
it's a
Emil.
corpse.
Workers mentioned him. Poor guy, unlucky as all hell. Right, now where do I start?
Ooh, bite wound's probably a good place.
Got sliced open. Not much blood, so it happened after death. Heart had already
Some
stopped pumping.
necrophages then.
Tooth marks. Small ones, though. So necrophages left him clearly. Sure sniffed out their feast
There.
fast. Deep claw wounds. Spread between talons indicates a draconid. A wyvern, probably. But these wounds weren't the cause of death.
Probably the fall, I'm guessing.
Tissues crushed in places. Must have fallen from quite a height.
So some kind of wyvern or something. Let a cow slip. Unlucky guy got crushed underneath it.
Crushed by something heavy. Skull base is cracked. Fresh
Wonder
tooth
what it could
marks.
have been.
Necrophages. But they got to him after his death. Won't learn anything else from the body.
All right, let's sum up.
Got it. All clear now. Cow died when it fell from a great height. Draconid must have dropped it.
Some
The youngster probably
expert
tried to get
detective
the
work.
cow back to its nest, but it proved too heavy. Emil's bad luck to be standing right underneath.
Assume we still gotta clear out the
And
necrophages.
then there's the crane.
Oh, now we gotta look at the crane, huh? I must have used this before, right? Filbert Fourfingers is dead. Vicious haunts of Mount Crane, one of the ones that I killed. Been defeated by the famed Witcher Geralt of Rivia. Castle handed over to the guard. Why a foreigner had to clean this mess up? Oh, I made them look bad. They hired me to do it though, so too bad. Usual unlooking stones. Yeah, okay. Elderly couple in need. Birthday party invitation. Cockatrice on the 18th day of this month. Day will mark 40 years since I first stepped foot into the world. Alright. There's gotta be some necrophages back here, right? No? I thought they'd be hanging around or something. No. Oh well. I don't know if last time I had this gear, because again, it's been so long. But I just wanted to point out, I'm pretty sure I have full Ursine gear now, except for the silver sword. Still gotta make that, right? Oh no, I do have Grandmaster. Why do I have... How do I check? Shift. Oh. I just have that one on because it's a really good sword. Yeah, that's a really good sword. Even though it doesn't have any slots. I need to put some slots in this one, by the way. Or some gems in. How have I not put any in yet? That's kind of weird. Alright. Always like burning. See if we can do that. Oh, because I wanted to do the pierogi one, right? Where be that one? Steel weapon. Alright, you know what? I'm going to do it. But yeah, full Grandmaster Ursine. Right. Is that trousers? Yep. So not bad. I like the way this armor looks. I'm going to stick with the heavy armor for a while. Always a good one to have. There are some new unique glyphs though, right? So I should keep that in mind. Axie, always useful. And then of course, Quen. mean, that's all we'll do for now. Because there's probably some other cool rune stones I could get. Oh, I can't take the chicken? Dang. Climb on up there, Geralt. So did it hit the crane on the way down? Is that what's happened? I see. Oh, it's gonna. Fine. I will go around. If Geralt can manage to get past a 2x4. Pretty sure I hear that griffin or whatever it is.
Blood. Draconid must have hit it pretty hard. Dropped the cow, then probably tried to steady its flight. Got hurt in the process. Good. Should be simple to track down.
So we do have to find this Draconid then, huh? Yeah, so simple to track. So simple. There it is.
Traces of Draconid blood. Barely perceptible. I'm on the right track.
Unless you're me. Oh, there we go.
Started bleeding heavily. Wound was more serious than I thought, looks like.
Must have really fallen hard on that piece of wood. Which way? That's gonna be it. Sounds like it. A rot fiend, so it maybe died then, huh? Alright. Well, let's get the oil out for the rot fiend, actually. Necrophage oil, where are you? Can never remember what any of them look like. And somehow it's always literally the last one I choose. Whatever.
Sour mash. Draconid must have attacked a local distillery. Bastard.
Whoa, how did I get that hurt there? I don't remember even getting hit. It's right. So Geralt's mad that they hit the local distillery, huh? Oh man, potatoes. Potatoes everywhere. The land is just filled with potatoes. Bootlegger's note. So I say to that, Minister Tremblay, the whole Sans Retour Valley is overrated. Those wines, why don't get me started on the Est. Ever since they started mass producing it, they should call it a tete, for definitely it's seen better days. Well, I'm sure that's very witty if I knew what that language was. Then he says, right you are, always been a Côte de Blousseur chap myself. In fact, between you and me, I even prefer it to sangreal. Yeah, sure you do, bud. I know, the wine reserved for her illustrious highness and inner circles. And then, the fool I am, I blurt out, "Oh, agreed. Whatever her grace has me taste, whenever her grace has me taste it, I've got to swill my mouth out with vodka afterwards to wash out the rancid taste. Oh, come on. I was drunk, wasn't I? Talking out of my bum. Well, it turns out I had rather overvalued my position at court. Tremblay needed but say a word in the Duchess's ear, and 3 shakes of a donkey's tail, I was out on the street. The job, wow. Confiding in each other. And he gets short end of the stick. Sounds like he was tricked. The job of ducal taster's been given back to Benoit. Can you believe it? After that scandal involving Baroness Nique and Quillan? As for me, well, what was I supposed to do? Had no choice but to start making and drinking my own brews. That's always been a true passion. Okay, I don't know what that's telling us. Apparently nothing. Cool.
Landed on the roof of the distillery, raised a ruckus, made a mess, then moved on. Damn it. Half-eaten body with scorch marks. Definitely not a wyvern. Slizzard. Gotta be. They breathe fire.
I think I've fought those before.
Paw prints. Crawled through here. Clearly too tired to fly.
I guess let's do 1 potion. You need to be at full strength for this. Come on. What else am I supposed to see down here?
Second dragon had landed here. A larger one. Waited for the smaller one to heal. Then they flew off together. Should be easy to track. Smaller one was still bleeding, luckily.
Alright. Following the blood trail.
Flew off together. Probably bound for their nest. Another cow. This one's been dead a lot longer, though. Slizzard did this, too. Can tell by the claw marks, the burns. Must feel safe here. Trail ends here. Been up here already. Might want to take a look, just to be sure.
It's for a cave entrance above us.
Slizzard stole the cows. Well, killed them already. Maybe now I can get someone to pay me for it. Good thing I incinerated those eggs back there. Now to collect my reward.
Oh yeah, so I just happened upon it before. Okay. That works. I'm pretty sure I've been in this cave then too. But let's check just in case. Oh, what? No, that's not the cave. Where is the cave then? What? That's weird. But I must have been in this cave, right? I had to have.
it's clearing up.
No, I've definitely been in that cave because there's a place of power down there that I have drawn from. Yeah, okay.
Medallion's humming. Place of power, it's gotta be.
Oh, why did that hurt so much? Come on. Alright, it's time to call our horse. Enough of this hoofing it.
Let's go!
Far enough.
Yes. Could I ever use that?
Well, have you learned how that cow came to fly?
Don't know why no one would have thought of that. That seems like it's a pretty common occurrence around here, but
Yeah, you can get back to work.
who knows?
And it wasn't a plague of falling cows.
Did I not say so from the start? A weight off my chest. So what was behind the animal's plummet?
Young lizard flying over the quarry dropped it. Was trying to get it back to its nest. Food for its mother and siblings. Probably heard the last of the beasts. Burned the nest, eggs, everything.
A praiseworthy precaution, but as I said, I can only pay you what we agreed. I simply haven't any more.
That's fine.
Take this. And I thank you, master.
300 crowns, not bad.
All cleared up now, right? No gods, no plague, just the dragon, but it's gone too. We're to pay Emil's widow compensation, and that will be that. So, why do you still stand there and wait, men? Back to work! Chop, chop!
Why are we all walking together? Thought the job was done.
Master, what would I have done without you? Countless throngs of Lebiota's followers will praise in prayer.
And you'll pay me, right?
But of course, your reward. The investor is a serious man of enterprise. Our plan foresees mass conversions. With the donations that will follow, we aim to recoup the cost of production in 3 to 5 years. Everything has been
Somehow I did two
calculated, you
quests at
see,
once,
down
okay.
to the last decimal.
Good luck then. Farewell.
Bovine bones? Okay. That's done. Was there then a second one? It's really weird I got paid twice. Okay. I'm not entirely sure what happened.
Drink!
How much I got? 9,000. Not bad. Yeah, that tournament is one quest I wish I had done over. I gotta add some bolts. Better bolts than what we got. Alright, let us get back to our quests. We're trying to wrap up everything before we go back on the main quest. I don't like these fistfight quests. They're just so dull. So let's pick up these last couple. And then we only have those treasure hunts left. Gotta take part in a picnic. Okay. Well, that should do it. There's that. Let's see what our other one is. Toolful Vineyard. We'll do that one first.
A job is like a lady. You can always get a new one.
Nothing to see here. Move along.
Let's check out this innkeep. Must have been there before. But we'll see if he'll buy any stuff.
Greetings. Welcome back. What shall I pour you?
Show me what you got behind the counter.
Doesn't want my trophy. That's fine. Surprised that no food has been above 15 vitality. Even with all this expansion stuff. But that's fine. Alright, gotta give up one of my... Is this the one? No? Where's my private stash? There we go. Couple bottles of White Wolf. Get the word out there. Probably not keen to buy much else, huh? There. Let's not buy much of anything.
Time I was on my way. See ya.
I was walking through Tufo. You know that bum sniffer's vineyard. For a nap in a haystack.
Traveling salesman? Regular salesman.
Greeting?
Mind if I glance at your stock?
Alright, let's unload the heavy stuff. The Reckoner, why do I feel like that's an important one? I don't know. Guess I don't really have much to sell. Oh well.
See ya.
Were the good prophet Levioda lively and strive from me, he would everything by.
Hello there. Come here.
Yeah? What is it?
Now, why does one summon a witcher, To inquire about the gossip currently flowing about the court? I have a problem with a beast.
You the one posted the notice? Go on
I'm
then,
gonna
spit it out.
objection.
What's it about?
First, my dear Witcher, we must establish ground rules. Given the vast difference in our respective social positions, I'm sorry to say I take umbrage at the familiar tone you take. I expect deference. I expect you to address me as Sir, or better yet, as Monsieur de Bourbeau.
Listen, friend. There's an enormous difference between us, but it's not about status. It's about me having 2 swords on my back, and you having none. So I'll call you whatever I want, and you either deal with that or solve your monster problem yourself.
What's it gonna be?
The call. I shall file a complaint with your guild.
Do it.
Make sure you address it to customer service. Kaer Morhen, Kedwin. Now talk, before I change my mind and go.
Nordlings and their manners. Very well. Let us get this over with. Something has infested my vineyard.
Probably that
Great.
weird
Let me go
plant.
prepare my something oil then.
I beg your pardon?
Need more information than that. Where was this something seen? Any witnesses? Bodies to examine?
Therein lies the rub. None has seen the beast. We've only heard signs of its presence, a strange scratching and shrieks. Neither are there any corpses to inspect. Men simply disappear without a trace.
Who's disappeared, if you don't mind my asking?
Most recently some farmhand, I believe.
Despite the vast difference in social status, you remember the farmhand's name, maybe?
No. You must speak to my wife. She has more collegial relations with this household help. She's away at the moment visiting her mother, but should return forthwith.
I agree, Geralt. This guy's an asshole.
Noises you mentioned. Where do they come from?
Well, everywhere.
So
But they're most
underground?
clearly audible in the wine cellar.
So underground.
Means the monster must dwell underground. When are the noises loudest?
In the night, just as they were years ago, when the buildings quaked. Another expert agreed to look into the matter then, but was never thereafter seen nor heard of. Oh, that should suffice with the questions. Now tell me, will you take the contract? Yea or nay?
Let's talk about my price.
Depends. What kind of reward are we talking about?
Fine. Seems I must take the loss. Agreed.
Good. Snooty boy.
Fine, I'll do it. Need to look around here first. Then I'll want to talk to Madame de Bourbeau.
Very well. I shall inform you once she has returned. Meanwhile, the key to the cellar. Just whatever you do, please do not disturb the wine barrels.
Sure, buddy. Wouldn't think of it.
Alright, let's look around.
I'm gonna loot this guy for everything I can get my hands on. Stocking summary. Let's read this riveting note. Yeah, different bottles. Most tremors damaged several bottles, stands and knocked over several wine barrels. I heard the squeaks of rats. Why do I have a feeling it's some like giant rat creature? Alright.
Rats. Not known to kidnap farmhands.
Fair enough.
What the?
Everything. Work schedule. Forced to reassign 3 workers to clearing up the damage caused by the Earth's strange tremblings. Yeah, it's gonna be some tunneling bug, I bet. Caused by the fact it significantly slowed the work on the vines. Sophie remains in confinement and will not be able to return to work for some time, and later her effectiveness will be hindered by the presence of the child. Jean-Luc did not even report for work today, with no warning and no excuse. When he finally does show, I shall have to have a serious talk with him. Alright, doesn't tell me much.
Shattered dishes. Got knocked off the shelf somehow. Shaken off, maybe?
Ah, what would this be but a destructible wall? Guess I'll have to not keep my promise.
Tunnel?
Let's get that insectoid oil on, because it's almost certainly going to be an insect. Spectre, Elementa.
That's better.
Geralt, why are you not swinging your sword?
Goes on and on, this tunnel.
I cannot swing my sword now. Alright, what is happening? What a stupid ass. Anything up here I missed? There's some more Ikamori. want you to kick that wall instead of jump up. Jeez, Geralt. Sometimes you're just not the brightest Witcher in the guild. So that's one end. So we continue on this end.
Should be able to break through.
Break through where?
Damn it, it's getting away. No kicking or duck this. Tunnels for the work of something much bigger. Something with heavy, wide claws. Getting more interesting by the minute. No kicking or dug this. Tunnels are the work of something much bigger. Something with heavy, wide claws.
Oh yeah, one of those shrew things or something.
Cracked Kiki more eggs. Something's been feeding on them.
Oh, there's so many tunnels. Hard to even know where to go. Oh, I can't go in these tunnels? Oh, okay. Good to know.
Kiki more eggs. Should destroy them before the young hatch. Start prowling the vineyard.
All right. Good progress.
Water coursing. Underground stream. Monster I'm looking for lives underground. Digs tunnels. Feeds on Kiki Moors. It is big. Very big. Won't learn anything else here. Time to go back to the surface. Damn it. Young could hatch any minute. Last one.
Why won't I learn anymore? I found the tunnels. I don't know why I can't just go through those tunnels, but whatever. This Geralt is incapable of crouching. Kind of wonder what that's going to be like in the next game. When number 4 finally comes out. Going to be so limited, held up by things like a piece of wood, or a door that just happens to be locked. It's like rotting off its hinges. I'm hoping it'll be just slightly more open world.
Dying.
Oh.
Sacre bleu!
What is the meaning of this? I'm paying you to slay a monster, not demolish my property.
Property's falling apart on its own, what with all the tunnels under it. I'd fill those in soon if you don't want your building to collapse.
Tunnels? Fiddle my farm, how did tunnels appear down there?
You didn't think all the like
Something dug
disturbances in
him.
the
A
earth
large creature.
could have
Also
been
killed a
tunnels?
few kikimores down there and destroyed their eggs. Consider it a half favor. Won't cost you much.
Kikimore eggs. Yes, of course, good work. Indeed, a reward is due.
Madame de Bordeaux, I presume?
100
Here you
crowns.
know something about the missing farmhand.
Jean-Luc? Yes. We went to examine this year's seedlings. Something had been nibbling at them. Then we heard these odd noises. Jean-Luc went to reconnoiter and never returned.
Madame, could you describe Jean-Luc?
Tall, exceedingly well built. Hair black as pitch.
Dear, concentrate. There is not a peasant that is not well built. They work in the fields all day. He means scars, birthmarks, that sort of thing.
Then none, I suppose. But he did wear a pendant around his neck. A silver one.
Silver jewelry on a farmhand?
It was a gift, I believe. Or that is what he claimed.
Should be enough to go on.
Then what are you fritting round here for? Get to work.
Just this guy more by the minute.
Perhaps I can turn these tunnels into an extended cellar.
Yeah, there you go. It's rickety old house.
Guess that's champion.
Keep calm. Start no brawls.
Work your way up, kiddies.
Why are the peasants working in the dark? That's pretty odd.
Bread's really stale. Been here a while. Blanket was laid out here.
Looks like all this, the makings of a picnic.
Good vintage. Must have been a special occasion. Someone had a picnic. Two or something.
They diverge. But then they end?
Large, deep tracks. Claw marks. Straight, dull, perfect for digging.
Sounds like we're on the track of
Felled trees, as if something rolled over them.
Shale mar,
So
yeah.
Shalmar. Only they dig tunnels and move like that.
What is a shale mar? Let's look it up. It's not just a beast, huh? Is it an insectoid? How's it going? You peeking in? Oh.
I can be here.
Of course you can. You're always welcome.
Yeah, right.
Shale mar is a relict. Okay.
What?
A shale mar is a relict.
A Shalmar?
Yeah, it's like a weird part snail, part
Cute.
like what do you call it?
You know what they say about snails?
Part like armadillo and then part mole. They dig, they got a heavy shell. They can roll up in a ball.
Kind of like me.
Just like you.
How's the audience today?
Good.
Ask them if I should go to the plant store tomorrow.
Not sure if anyone's watching at the moment, but if you are, should Amanda go to the plant store tomorrow?
And if so, what should I get?
Oh, does this not count? Oh, it does count. But
Oh, if I go to the plant store tomorrow, it doesn't count? Sick.
no. Why is it only counting 5? Because that's Ursine Steel Sword. 2,
I picked a bad time.
3,
Didn't I?
no, 4, 5, 6. Weird. Oh, you can upgrade your bow? I was not even aware of that. I suppose I never thought to look, though, either. Okay. Well, that'll be another thing that we do later on. I was going to put some oil in my sword. Need to find the relict oil. There we go. Because we are fighting a Shaelmar. And a Shaelmar is a relict. I know that's super exciting for you. So, are you excited to be graduating in just a month? Whatever. You're such a liar.
Into that cave.
I'm sure you're also excited.
Claw marks. Straight, dull, perfect for digging.
I'm gonna tell you how you feel based on what you've said before. Great, using my own words against me.
I want to look around some.
Well, lots of stuff over that. Just a dead end. Okay. Nothing. Talking to myself for a second. It makes everything more real. Is that what you're going to say? Yes, true. Can't deny that.
I want to look around some.
Scared about student loans.
Yeah. Sure, they'll only make that harder.
Whoa, Shaelmar's close.
Yeah. Yep. It's gonna be a little bit of curiousness.
Shaelmar droppings. Grubs that feed on them are a delicacy to giant centipedes.
But I think we're gonna make it through just fine.
Dead end. Except, looks like there might be something down there. Dead end.
Relief. I enjoy school. I will be glad to be done with it. I'm glad to move on. It takes up so much of my free time.
Shalmar's lair. Gotta be. Drags its victims here. Pretty fresh, some of them. Gonna have to brew some bait. Need the blood of a recent victim and some of the mushrooms that grow here.
Well, I do too, but you know, we can always just keep reading books and talking with colleagues and attending seminars and conferences. You know, it's not the end of our education. It's just, it won't be the central piece of our free time.
Fresh corpse. Must be Jean-Luc. Crushed ribs, cracked skull. Shalmar did this. No time to decayed. Hardly eaten. Been lying here a while.
Sorry, I missed the last thing you said. Yeah. Oh yeah, that'll be great. Yeah, not those amateur conferences we've been attending. I know. Better a smartass than a dumbass, I guess. Well, I think I've explored every single inch of this cave. Still haven't found the chest that's supposedly down here, though. That's a little disappointing. Unless, could it be back here? No. Of course not. Go about brewing this. I have to brew a lure for this Shelmar.
Oh,
Yeah.
like before next door.
I'm supposed to be in alchemy, right?
I don't know what you do.
Well, I don't know what you do with your time.
I don't.
Gotta slither within a lair, somewhere near an air current, so the scent spreads throughout the cave.
Guess that means up here, huh? Gotta spill this lure. Yeah.
Scent won't spread from here. Need to spill the bait near the tunnel entrance. Ugh, that stench. Shalmar will be here any minute.
What's up? I didn't really hear what you said, though. This is not explaining it. Whatever.
Come on, show me your claws.
Well, that wasn't so bad. I killed the big mole monster. I did it. Thanks.
Silver pendant. A lock of hair inside. Same color as Madame de Bourbeau's.
What do I think? What now? What do I think of someone who is cool? Being unabashedly themselves, being kind to others, stuff like that. What makes someone cool to you? Oh, okay. Yeah, and are they willing to get in a fight? Are they willing to get in a fight? No? I'm a lover, not a fighter. Sure, we'll go with that. Thanks. You. How have I not found the treasure chest in here, though? That's ridiculous. Makes me really annoyed. Oh, I should be. Is that where the voice sits? You want the level to die in a car crash. I see. Do you want to talk about that frustration?
Yeah. I'm playing a game too. It's different.
Oh. How is it different? Yeah, my game I just stand still.
Yeah, pretty much.
And it's like hum-da-dum. Oh, a monster. Oh. What am I stuck on? Stupid Geralt. Can't get out of a cave. Yeah. How did it end up like this? It was... You started this. It was only a kiss. It was only a kiss. Yeah? And then he saw his shadow?
Yeah.
And it was 15 more weeks of winter. Oh, jeez. Don't even. No. No. That's impossible. Yeah. Does he get the prize ass award? The goodest boy. Oh, Geralt, jump up the rocks. He just keeps jumping and kicking the rocks. What, like, climb up. No, I think I'll just jump and kick. I just jump and kick things? Is that what you're implying? It couldn't have been more, like, direct and... Oh god, I'd end up like the B-52s all of a sudden. Oh, okay. I must have missed something. Oh, you don't think so, huh? Couldn't have been. You stole all the cookies from every cookie jar.
Silver.
I don't let anybody out. Yeah. I didn't ask for that kind of commentary, though. Let's not listen to it, okay? him again. Crazy. Why was there another one? Makes no sense.
You guys talking about the White House?
No, I've not. Yeah? No, it's not up here. Well, did you want to say anything about it? Wow. A lot of people think it was completely staged. They're basing it on people's reactions. I think Trump is too far out of it to really react properly. So I'm not really surprised that he was kind of blasé about it, especially at first. And then they talk about the old guy who was like eating his salad as he's crouching behind the table. And yeah, I think that's funny. Where have I not checked in this cave? I think it probably was not staged. At least I have no reason to believe at this point that it was staged. Other than just weird things. But weird things always happen with this sort of thing. He's a big silly doof, that is correct. But yeah. I mean, someone was saying that considering how inactive Democrats have been, it's more a wonder that this thing doesn't happen more often. Well, because like, there's no real recourse. The Democrats aren't doing anything to protect anybody. So people should rightfully be pretty outraged, and some of them want to take things into their own hands, you know? Yeah.
Like, we're just gonna sit by and let these things happen. Can't wait till somebody tells you to make your own choices and do what you should.
Whoa. But yeah. So I certainly am not surprised that someone felt like doing that. So yeah, what is your hot take on it? Yeah, everything that happened, you know. Yeah. They're being an obedient, controlled opposition party. Not, you know, making some strongly worded speeches. And some strongly worded letters. And, yeah, basically just standing on principle. Not doing anything of consequence.
Everybody keeps saying the democrats can't do anything. What do you mean they can't do anything?
Well, that's what they try to make you believe, that unless they are directly in power, then they're just out. Their hands are tied. And oh, jeez. Well, and how come they keep voting to approve Republican stuff?
I want to look around some.
They just use this rotating cast of villains for casting very unpopular votes, so that no one person has to take all the blame. But they're just about appeasement and just saying vote harder, but also definitely fundraise with us a lot. I really don't either.
I want to look around some.
Show me in action, and what you're gonna do if it don't go the way you're hoping.
Yep. And yet they don't even do that, so. Yeah. No, that's a excellent point. Definitely. You know what? I might just have to look up where this stupid treasure chest is, because this is so annoying. You know, does your mother have a treasure chest? I gotta do this quick. What are we on? Tipo monster chest. It's almost 9. It's almost 9. Not too much longer. I think I'll just finish up. Game that we what? Okay. Why do you ask me the question then if you're not going to believe me? I just want to find the stupid treasure. Bye. Still looking through. Oh, sorry, this is taking so long. Place ruins. Oh, they're all there. Terrace place ruins. Let's try searching for something different. I'm gonna have to find this for next time. I think it's just not happening. This is confusing. Why is the sign right here? And yet there's nothing back in here. Unless some kind of art. Just not showing up. Supposed to be some hidden channel or passage. I'm really not seeing it. For some reason I can't get that gold either, so I wonder if the chest is just improperly loaded. Is that what's happened? Oh. Gosh, I was hoping that would be it. But I'm pretty sure I found that already. Some way to get up here. I'm just not figuring out. Come on. Yeah, apparently he's not supposed to be able to get up here, I would wager. I don't think it's really this guy. Oh, wait a minute. Where have I clipped into? supposed to be able to get up here. Oh, that's quite interesting. Said something about the ssonz EJ2 area with a destructible wall. Just not seeing it. Neither. Neither. Nobody. Rocky. Yeah, we saw Project Hail Mary over the weekend here. It was quite good. I would highly recommend that.
Zach doesn't like it much, so.
You know, I like a lot of movies. I'm not too hypercritical of movies. I think movies usually serve their purpose. So, like, I'm not going to get all down on an action movie because it's an action movie, or romantic comedy because it's romantic comedy. This one was really good sci-fi, and those tend to be the movies I appreciate most. Really good sci-fi. And the way they did aliens, I found really interesting and unique. Hadn't seen that type of an alien before, so I appreciated that. Yeah, the thumbs down meaning thumbs up. That was pretty good. Sorry, I don't think that's too much of a spoiler. I don't think saying that the aliens look like a rock creature either is a spoiler because, of course, they show that in the preview. So if it is, in fact, a spoiler, I apologize. But, like, really, they showed it. They showed the creature. It's still a good reveal, even though I knew going in what it was going to look like. I still appreciated it, so take that for what it's worth. But they did a good job of explaining each piece, why the dilemma was what it was, and any sort of gaps in logic or continuity were pretty forgivable. But good plot. Excellent acting, especially for it mostly just being two actors for like half the movie, and then just a handful. There was really not that many actors in the movie total. You know, it had some elements of like 2001: A Space Odyssey, the loneliness of space and isolation. I'm trying to figure out artificial gravity. That was definitely influenced by it. That part was cool. Yeah, there's a whole lot to really like about that. Just the whole movie was good. Start to finish, I didn't feel like it was too long. I think Amanda did a little bit, but yeah, so like you're not a movie person in the first place. You like long stories, you just want them to be episodic. And I tend to agree. I think this golden age of cinematic TV that we're in is preferable to movies, because you can hit the beats differently than just expect like, oh, okay, here's Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3. So, Yeah, really good. Ryan Gosling was amazing. He is quite an actor. There was a lot of humanity, and that's always good when a sci-fi movie about aliens, in part, shows deep humanity. I really appreciate that. I do love it, yeah. Oh, this quest sucks. Well, not the quest itself. Oh, is the game just gonna crash now? Yeah, it literally is. Oh, that's great. I kind of wonder if something didn't load right then. You know what? We're just gonna take that as a sign. And be done. Um, so many technical difficulties tonight. Guess there's a little bit of rust to be shaken off after being away so long. What do I want to highlight before I go? Yeah, cloud error. I got it. Who knows if that last quest even got saved at this point? I would assume it did, but you know what they say about assuming. What do they say?
Something about a donkey.
Some stupid American thing about a donkey, and I don't like it. All right, let's take a look quick then what the PSL is up to. I do have, just want to do a little fit check real quick. I do have my PSL t-shirt on tonight. That is kind of the party that I've thrown my lot behind for the time being. I feel that they are the best of the third parties locally in terms of organization and clear vision. Instrumental in all the big marches that happened over the winter against ICE. Had a lot of great actions, a lot of solidarity stuff, working with teachers on strike in Minneapolis school districts and beyond. Organized mutual aid. They've just done a lot of really great stuff. So I am impressed with them. So that's who I'm with for now. Let's see what they got going on. We'll just share real quick. Their Instagram, that is the best place to find them. I'll put that up in the chat. Because even my chat is not displaying correctly tonight. Like, nothing is going right. I'm getting more and more frustrated with Restream in general as it continues to crash at inopportune times and have to reload. It's not displaying things correctly. Right now, it won't load my comments. So I'm going to have to go into Twitch to do the message from there. Check out the PSL. Restream, come on, do better. So their big thing going on right now is the big May Day strike going on May 1st. The idea is to do another. So they did the first couple of strikes that went along with the protests. They're trying to keep that momentum going. I believe their goal is to build towards an actual general strike. But I feel that their strategy is a pretty good one. That it's been a long time since we've had such a thing. So building up to it, getting people used to the idea of taking a day off or two so that eventually we can build a strike fund, do a real strike, have people off for long enough to make demands. You do it well enough, it's organized well enough, you can demand anything you want. You can demand the resignation. You can demand the resignation of corrupt politicians. You can demand, things that have been gotten from strikes are things like union representation, like Minneapolis, our biggest general strike we've ever had. busted the union busting in the town, and all of a sudden truckers and a bunch of other unions popped up and have been going strong ever since. So there's any number of things that workers can do, and this is all in recognition that there is no thing of value. All value that is to be had is created by labor. That's not to say that every bit of labor creates value. Of course, we all have hobbies. We all do things that take labor. I'm doing this right now, and thank you to my 2 Patreon donors. That I do appreciate your monthly contributions. I end up netting about $7.50 a month for that, which I generally end up donating to people in need. But I also spend $20 a month for this restream, which is so frustrating lately. So I'm actually paying to do this hobby. Does that mean my labor doesn't have any value? Well, it has value to me. It's not monetary value. It's not market value necessarily. Although I do receive revenue from ads very occasionally. It takes a long time to build up enough ad revenue for them to even pay out. I think it's happened twice in the time I've been a streamer. So, though it may not have market value, of course, it is a different kind of value to me. So the point being, if this were to become a marketable stream, like one that actually is making money for all the platforms that I stream on, that value would have been created by the labor that made the software that makes the streaming stuff possible, and the labor of myself hosting the program, and the labor of the people that make the games and the videos that I watch and comment on, so on and so forth. No, nothing has inherent value. Labor doesn't have inherent value for everything that it does in terms of monetary payoff. But if ever there is a monetary payoff, it is only because labor makes it possible. So that's important to remember. The workers ultimately have the power. They just have to realize that, number one, and believe in it. And number two, coordinate together to withhold labor when necessary to get things that otherwise politicians are letting us down on. We could demand, universal basic services. We could get universal health care pushed through. We could get universal education, housing, food, you name it. If it's a basic need, we could get it done if we were coordinated enough, and enough of us withheld our power until the politicians did it. They would be forced to. The business peoples would be quaking in their boots, as they have in past with general strikes. And it doesn't really even take that long. I think the last general strike in Minneapolis was a little over a week, maybe even not that much. I'll look it up quickly. Let's look at that. Minneapolis general strike. General strike of 1934. So it's been nearly 100 years since we've had one. Like a real general strike. Not just a one-day stoppage, but stop until you do what we say. Let's share this one real quick. And we will also put this in the notes. I'm assuming we're going to, still going to have to share this from Twitch. One of the nice things about multi-stream is you always have another option if your main one is not working. So we'll paste that. Here's the Wikipedia for that general strike. And let's take a quick read about it. Grew out of a strike by the Teamsters against most of the trucking companies operating in Minneapolis, major distribution center for the upper Midwest. That has always been Minneapolis, St. Paul's claim to fame, is we are one of the largest cities in the upper Midwest. Only thing that really rivals us is, like Milwaukee and then Chicago, but those are hundreds of miles away. So for this particular region, there's nothing near this size around. So we end up being a very important distribution center. Goods come in and then flow out from. Worst single day was Friday, July 20th, called Bloody Friday. The police shot at strikers in a downtown truck battle. That sounds incredible, like hard to even wrap your head around. Killing 2 and injuring 67. Ensuing violence lasted periodically throughout the summer. Strike was formally ended August 22nd. Oh, so they did go over a month. I was thinking it was not quite as long, but yeah, let's see. It went May 16th to August 21st. The goals, unionization. Here are the major parties involved: the International Brotherhood of Teamsters and the Communist League of America. And then Citizens Alliance, Government of Minnesota. On the other side, Minnesota Army National Guard, of course. The powers that be will always call in enforcement, not for the workers, but against them. Try and force them back to work, because government in a bourgeois democracy is there first and foremost to protect bourgeois interests, which would be business. And then the Minneapolis Police Department, oh man, it's good to know they've been bastards for over 100 years now. A coalition formed by leaders associated with the Trotskyist Communist League of America, a group that later founded the Socialist Workers' Party. Strike paved the way for the organization of over-the-road drivers and the growth of the Teamsters Labor Union. Strike, along with the West Coast Longshore Strike of the same year and the Toledo Auto Light Strike, led by the American Workers' Party, also important catalysts for the rise of industrial unionism in the 30s, much of which was organized through the Congress, the CIO, which, AFL-CIO, not exactly the sort of organization I would like to see in terms of union, but they're doing something. So prior to this strike in the 30s, Minneapolis was a non-union town, in part due to employer advocacy group, the Citizens Alliance. Yeah, they sound like a wonderful group. Anti-union, prominent United States of America during the first decade of the 20th century. Ties to the employers' associations. How about that? So all of them on the same side as government, strangely enough. Why might that be? Alliance had the power to sway over the Minneapolis economy and thwarted union organizing. At the time of the strike, the governor was Floyd Olson. Belonged to the Farm Labor Party, which later merged with the Democrats to be the DFL. Olson was sympathetic to the union cause, but also believed he had a gubernatorial responsibility to maintain law and order. That's always the excuse. Law and order means we need to send out whatever goon squad we can muster to crack down on those rowdy workers on behalf of the business. Just so happens also in alignment with business interests. There we go. So then the IBT, International Brotherhood of Teamsters, under Daniel Tobin, conservative union, averse to strikes. Union members were often called on to support other union strikes. The union itself was cautious. Yeah, so this craft industry movement, mostly all they did was advocate for wages, and they tended not to have solidarity with other unions of any kind, and kind of looked down their nose at these so-called unskilled unions, or unions that represented unskilled labor. So then what happened? Let's see, they began organizing coal drivers. began preparing for the strike in a number of ways, rented a large hall that could be used as a strike headquarters, kitchen, and infirmary, organized a women's auxiliary to staff the headquarters, and entered into discussions with a sympathetic leader of organizations of farmers and the unemployed to obtain the support for the upcoming strike. And then they presented their demands for a closed shop, union recognition, shorter hours, and standard pay to the trucking firms. And the trucking firms refused to negotiate, so the strike began. But look at all this. This is the real groundwork that needs to be done for like a real long-term general strike. You have to have locuses of organization, even in today's computer age. Cannot be happening all online. In fact, it mostly is going to be happening in person, offline. As nice as a communication tool as the online space is, it does not put bodies in the street. It does not. It cannot do much of anything on its own other than help people coordinate and organize. But that has to be a coordination and organizing of physical spaces. So they had a hall for the strike headquarters. They had a kitchen to feed people and an infirmary to keep their health up. So you have to prepare for the long haul if you're actually going to be serious about this. The strike was remarkably effective, shutting down most commercial transport in the city, with the exception of certain farmers who were allowed to bring their produce into town, but delivering directly to grocers rather than to the market area, which the union had shut down. Oh, and then look at that. Minneapolis police working with private guards beat a number of strikers, trying to prevent strike breakers from unloading trucks in the market area, and waylaid several strikers who had responded to report that scab drivers were unloading newsprint at the two major dailies. The police then followed the injured strikers back to the strike headquarters. They refused to let the police into the headquarters, leading to more violence between the strikers. Fighting intensified. Following Monday, several hundred newly deputized members of the Citizens Alliance, working hand in hand with that government, boy howdy, attempted to open the market for trucking. Fighting began when a loaded truck began leaving the loading dock, and it became a general melee with hundreds of pickets armed with clubs of all sorts rushed the area to support the picketers. When the police drew their guns as if to shoot, the union sent a truckload loaded with picketers into the masses of police and deputies in order to make it impossible for them to fire without shooting each other. Yeah, this is real stuff. Other unions, particularly the building trades, began to strike in sympathy. So this is where the solidarity between various labor organizations really is crucial. It's one thing to shut down one avenue of commerce. It's another thing to start shutting them all down. Skipping ahead to May 22nd, Battle of the Deputies Run. Picketers took the offensive, beating and dispersing strikebreakers and drove them off with the police. A couple of the strikebreakers or deputized police were cornered and killed. And then there was a general riot. And a bunch more police and strikers were beaten or wounded. And that eventually led to negotiations. Central Labor Council, the Building Trades Council, and the Teamsters Joint Council approached Mike Johannes, the Minneapolis chief of police, to propose a truce. And Johannes declared that the police would move trucks once the truce expired, leading the union to announce that it was resuming picketing. And the strike resumed. Martial law was declared. And the impact is the important part. Strike changed Minneapolis, which had been an open shop citadel under the control of the Citizens Alliance for years before 1934. And in the aftermath, thousands of workers in the industries organized with the assistance of Local 574 paved the way for militancy in the larger American labor union movement, and the strike, along with those other ones previously mentioned, were also important catalysts for the rise of industrial unionism in the 30s, much of which was organized under the CIO. And these efforts led to the establishment of the National Labor Relations Act. This is the liberal concession here. We're gonna make a board that will negotiate with these unions and make sure that they get fair deals and stuff like that. But really just slow things down. But it did make them move, you know? And it gave the Communist League, which later became the Workers' Party of America, a strong position in the local 574 and other Teamster locals within the Minneapolis Metro. So there you go. So anyway, backtracking just a little bit, this is what the PSL is up to right now. They're trying to organize a general strike, just a one day, and I believe their aim is to do something large scale eventually. And if it's supported by a bunch of these third parties, maybe they could make things more fair, give them more ballot access in upcoming elections, stop Democrats and Republicans alike from suppressing them, on and on. It's kind of the sky's the limit. It just depends on how well you're organized and how strong you can stay. Art Build coming up for May Day. It's coming on the 27th. That's just tomorrow. 6:30 p.m. University Baptist Church, 1219 University Avenue Southeast. Making signs and stuff for the May Day strike. May Day is an incredibly important holiday in Minneapolis. There's a large May Day parade every year, which is attended by all sorts of labor organizations, political organizations. It is very leftist in general, but not all of it, though. So then May Day, of course, 1 p.m. They're organizing again at University Baptist Church. General strike can defeat Trump. And it, in fact, could. That is one power that, well, it did. Sorry for the pun, but it does trump everything. All right. Thank you all for joining tonight. I do appreciate it. If you like this sort of thing, make sure to subscribe wherever you're watching it so you get notified whenever I go live. Tell a friend. Donate if you can. I got all my links up there. That Bread Theory shop is out. And you can go to my link tree, which is always the first link that's flashed across the screen when I stream, and find all the places that I stream and the various projects that I am working on. And with that, that's enough rambling. Appreciate y'all, everyone who joined live, and all of you who are watching after the fact. I may or may not see you next weekend. Next weekend's going to be incredibly busy. So, in all likelihood, no. It's going to be a while before I'm streaming at all again. Probably at least before the next... Probably not before the next 3-ish papers are due. If not, before I'm done with the semester entirely. So I really did enjoy getting this little bit of time to once again stream. But it's going to be a while again, friends. So sorry for that, but hope you had fun. See ya next time.